Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we're going to do something a little bit different. You see, one of the things that Creative Assembly added in the launch of Warhammer 3 was a really interesting concept of mini-campaigns, but unfortunately they were only for multiplayer, meaning that you needed to play with other people and sometimes, well, you just want to play a fun scenario and be antisocial, right? This is the Warhammer way to go. Now, out of the two mini-campaigns, we had Darkness and Disharmony, which is kind of small, and then Something Rotten in Kislev, which is named after a really cool supplement from way back in the day of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And you know, it's a pretty interesting one. What you have to do is pick one of the three Kislevite factions, including Boris, yes, and then just play. But what if that was brought up into a single player format? This is the big thing. So with this mod, which will be linked in the description below, it's called Something Rotten in Kislev in Immortal Empires. Well, yeah, name rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? What you have to do is start a new campaign, you know, do the usual stuff, go into your settings, and there you'll be able to turn it on, right? So you have to turn on endgame scenarios, take off all the rest, unless you want to deal with those two, and begin your campaign, and I think that's pretty simple enough. I'm actually a really big fan of this. Right? So we're going to check out how it actually looks in campaign now. And here we go. Okay, so you start your campaign and instantly you'll notice a lot of changes. This is when things are going to get a little bit difficult. If you've never played Something Rotten in Kislev on the multiplayer campaign, then you're not going to be used to this. So essentially, yeah, there's a lot of demons. You actually have a chaos invasion from all possible demons. So a few armies of Sinesh, a few armies of Khorne, a few armies of Tzeentch, and a few armies of Nurgle. They've basically taken over all of Kislev, and the main cities are held by mostly a full stack of Katarin, of Konstantin, and even Boris. Boris has Prague instantly, okay? He doesn't actually have the areas to the north, so it's everyone in one area trying to hold back the tide. And the AI can be a tad aggressive. You can put this on easy all the way up to legendary, however you please. I just really enjoy this because I think it's actually kind of interesting. Now, I don't believe the full mechanics have been translated, which was kind of silly, where you had to basically defeat a certain amount of armies and capture locations, or else the campaign would end. This is a bit more streamlined because it's still a sandbox, so you're still able to kind of do your thing. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually pretty fun because it definitely brings a harder campaign to Kislev, which, you know, Kislev itself is, it's a difficult campaign. It's a very difficult campaign, but it's more, right? If you want more of a challenge, this isn't really like going, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a ultimate endgame scenario turn 10. This is straight turn 1, basically. You're suffering from the very beginning, and it's not wise to just basically go in there and fight a faction. You might have to wait, and it gives you some benefits. So your Legendary Lord starts at rank 10 already. You have a pretty decent stack of units at the very beginning. The other Kislevite factions will also have this, so they'll have, you know, some higher tier units, and you'll already get access to some items if you already had the chance. Your heroes, unfortunately, start at rank 1, but it doesn't take too long to level up, to be honest. I'm just glad that this is out here as the form of a mod, because I loved the concept for this originally. Well, I still do, but it should have also been available for vanilla solo play, right? Because it's a mini campaign and it adds in a certain amount of flavor, especially since we've lost too many campaigns already that you already paid for, by the way. This is a big thing. The Beastmen mini campaign and the Wood Elf one, you know, those are ones that we don't have, even though we kind of paid for. They should be moved over. This is just like a thought of mine that I've had for a while. And then we had this really cool one for Warhammer 3, and yeah, you can't play it unless you play with friends, which, yeah, it's fine, you know, I don't mind playing with some friends and stuff, but sometimes I just want to have a fun campaign, and I just want to challenge myself. So these types of things, you know, they're super cool. There's a big reason to be excited about this too. You see, if this is possible, I'm imagining that a lot of work had to get to port this over. But if this is possible, maybe mini-campaigns could be created by the modding community. Imagine modders creating some mini-campaigns in the Immortal Empires map, which, yeah, wouldn't be its own custom map and stuff like we had with the Beastmen and the Wood Elves, but it would be very similar, well, identical to that of what we have currently in the multiplayer scene. But that could be kind of thematic, you know, they could do a War of the Beard situation, just anything, really. Imagine the future, the rise of Nagash, right? Getting rid of all these other factions and just putting undead and very early humans. Hell, Sigmar's ascension, Stuff like that just makes me think, oh yeah, this would be cool. And I know some modders are already thinking about this because I already spoke to some modders and they're like, oh, if it's possible, you never know. So I'm kind of excited. This is stuff that I live for. Mods like this, which just kind of add in some extra big flavor, is cool. I had a while to play with this. Unfortunately, I accidentally deleted the save because I was deleting a lot of old saves. Because if you have way too many saves, it kind of slows down your game. At least that's how I found it over the years with Warhammer 2. And instead of leaving the actual saves for this campaign and another one that I was currently playing for a video, yeah, it's annoying. So I have to restart the other campaign for another video. This is definitely something that you want to check out, especially if you like Kislev. You probably already have some Kislev mods that add some extra units and stuff. If not, I've got some ideas for videos later. And this is going to give you something different, which I feel is really, really important. As variety, of course, is the spice of life, and I just really, really like this. Yeah, I've repeated myself here, but you know, it's one of those things where having options like this, some extra functionality, which Creative Assembly are slowly implementing in, and then obviously just kind of changed around by modders, you know, the more options you have when you're starting a campaign, the better, I think, because it gives you more of a feeling of, right, you know, I want to tailor this to be really, really different, or just in general, having options like this just really makes your game feel a lot more customizable, which for a sandbox game is really, really important. If you guys have played stuff like Crusader Kings, Stellaris, you know, those games have that type of stuff, and I really do wish that we got a little bit more of that in Total War, just to add in a little bit more flavor here and there. Anyways, regarding the mod, as far as I've seen, it's probably best to play in normal, hard. If you want a very, very strong challenge, you can go higher, but you will get dogpiled, and the other factions will try their best to hold on. Keep in mind that the other factions, like, say if you're playing as Catherine, and, you know, Konstantin and Boris will hold on a little bit better, because they're playable factions, so they've obviously got better auto-resolve, but still, they're going to be dogpiled. This is going to be a really interesting campaign for you. So the mod can be found in the description below, and I would highly recommend it if you want to play another Kislev campaign, but you just want things a little bit harder. And really, if you just want a palate cleanser. Right now, I know that the player base is feeling a little bit of burnout because they want new factions and so on. And yeah, we're getting a lot of modded factions, which I think is pretty cool. I know people just want the Chaos Dwarves. Trust me, I do too. But whilst we wait, mods like this, I mean, they just add in so much. And I feel like this is something that the player base, even if you don't usually use mods, you should try and explore it a little bit. As, yeah, it doesn't really hurt just to try any things out, right? Anyways, with all that being said, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. I shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.